What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing another one of my ColourPop eyeshadow palettes that I got recently. This is the Rumor Has It palette. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the green one, the one that I wasn't like, oh my god about. Simply because I don't know, it just something about it for me. I don't know. I'm not like completely blown away by it. So I thought that I'd go ahead and use it and see if I could come up with something really cute. So if you're interested in seeing what kind of a look I come up with for this palette, then keep watching. Well, my earbud just died, so I guess I'm going to be doing this sans music, which doesn't make me terribly happy. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to go in with my MAC paint pot in the color Soft Ochre. I'm going to set up my mirror so I can see what I'm doing, because this palette does not come with a mirror. So, but it is just a little 5-pan palette, so it's excusable to not have a mirror in it. So this is an eyeshadow primer I've used for several years now. Not this particular one, but you know, I've used MAC paint pots. I was using Painterly for years and then switched over to Soft Ochre, and Painterly is just that little bit white, like a little too light for me, whereas Soft Ochre really matches my skin tone very well. So, and I'm essentially just putting this down. It almost dries down to a powder finish, so it's not super tacky, but it definitely helps grab onto those eyeshadows and pigments and really just like do the damn thing. Okay, so this comes with 5 shadows in it, like I said before. So we've got Promise with a question mark, which is why I did it like that. Then we've got Fan Fave, Buggin', Don't Care, and Scene, which is this one here. So this is going to be a pretty simple look, I think, simply because I'm having a hard time like figuring out how I want to place the shadows and that sort of thing. So this one is just a little bit like, I wish there was one more matte. Like if there was one more matte, I could totally see myself doing it, a couple of looks with this. But unfortunately, there is just not a lot of color variation here. So I'm going to go in with Don't Care, which is this shade, this 4th shade here. And I'm just going to put that in my crease. And then I'll deepen it up with Scene. So far the shadow is very pigmented, very on brand for ColourPop. So not unimpressed with the opacity or the pigmentation at all. It's very nice. Very nice. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher as well. Bring it up closer to my brow bone. That's quite a pretty shade, actually. Yeah, when I opened up the palettes, I have to admit this one was the one that was a little lackluster for me. Usually I really like ColourPop's color theories and color stories, and so I thought, you know, this is going to be fantastic. I wish I had researched a bit more and had figured out that this one was probably not going to be my jam, even though I love greens. I love greens, I love pinks, I love color, which is why you don't see me do a lot of very neutral looks. I like to be a little more bold. I like to stand out, and I like because I'm not a very outgoing person, which seems really strange being on YouTube and not being an outgoing person, but it's very true. I don't see myself as a very outgoing person, but I like to make statements, if that makes any sense at all. Now I'm going to go in on I used an E2 from ColourPop, the first one. I'm going to go in with another E2, and I'm going to go in with the color Scene, which is this farthest shade here. Oh, God, okay. Same problem, very kick-uppy in the pan. The same problem that I had with the deeper pink shade in the other palette. Very powdery, very kick-uppy. But I wasn't unimpressed with the shadow when I had it on my face. And even though it was kick-uppy in the pan, I had no fallout on my face whatsoever. So I kind of can forgive that, because it's a really beautiful shade, that pink one. And unfortunately, I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. but it was also the deepest end shade. But I mean, come on, like, that's gorgeous. Yeah, that's a stunning shade. It really is. And again, they blend so easily with each other. There's not a whole hell of a lot of work that I have to put into to get the kind of look that I'm trying to achieve. So that's always a big bonus. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the shade... I'm going to go in with Promise, which is this one here. And I'm actually going to bring... I changed my mind before I do that. I'm going to take Scene, and I'm going to place that on this outer corner of the eye real quick. And then I'm going to put Promise on top of it and see what kind of... See, this is just a powdery mess. It's just... These are the only shadows that I have had from ColourPop that have done this to me. The rest of them have all been, from memory, they have all been really, really great about not being really kick-uppy in the pan or really dusty. But I think these must just be pressed really, really softly. And so that's why they're creating that little bit of kick-up in the pan. So the next shade I'm going to go in with is, I'm going to use my Lunar Beauty double-ended brush. There's no name on it, but I'm going to use Promise, and I'm going to place that. Okay, this might just be a topper shade, which is exactly what I was going for. And I'm just putting that right on top of Scene. Oh, that's really pretty. Yeah, that's really pretty. I do think it is a topper shade. I'm just going to get a mirror and look a bit closer just to see. Yeah, there's like no pigment to it. It's just, I mean, there is a little bit of pigment to it. Like, I'll swatch it on the back of my hand, but it definitely feels more like a topper. Like, there's no base underneath it. It's just a sheen, which is super cool that I was able to do that. So that's a good thing. Next I'm going to go in with Buggin', which is this middle shade here, and I'm going to pack that with an E1 from ColourPop, and I'm going to put that on the middle of my eyelid. I could have done a really pretty halo eye with this. Again, this seems like a topper. It's got, oh, I don't know, got a little bit of yellow pigment underneath it. Oh, I like that shade. I like that shade a lot. That's a really nice shade. Okay, I'm gonna save my inner corner. Fuck it, I'll do it now. I'm gonna go in on an E1 from ColourPop, another one, and I'm gonna take Fan Fave, which is this second shade here. Whoop, this one right here. And I'm just gonna place the, oh god, oh wow. I don't know if my camera's gonna pick that up, but there is a ton of kick up. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm just going to place that on my inner corner. I'm just going to lightly tap in, and there's still a ton of kick up. Alright, eyes are done. Checking for fallout. None. No fallout. And I thought that this shade was going to be like super sparkly. This Fan Fave was going to be super sparkly, but it's not. There is a bit of shimmer in the eyeshadow, but on the eyes it's matte. So that's all right for me. Oh, there I can see a little bit on the inner corner, just the tiniest bit of shimmer there. But for the most part, it's a matte, which is fine. It's just fun for me. All right, I'm going to quickly do my face off camera, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts on the palette. All right, guys, so my base is done. I've done bronzer, powder, blush. So for my foundation, I used my Dior Forever Undercover 24-Hour Full Coverage Foundation in the color 015. I used my ColourPop concealer in the color Light 16. I used my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder and my Fenty bronzer, as well as Lunar Beauty's Stargaze. I always get that wrong. Yeah, Stargaze, which is this middle one here, which is just, it's a great all-rounder, as well as Twilight. Those two are perfect, like everyday neutral kind of blush shades, and I love them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up the under eye, and I'm going to take the color, I'm actually going to do something a little, not really all that different, let's be honest. I'm going to take the Morphe M413, which is just a pencil brush. And I'm going to take the shade Scene, which is that one at the end. And I'm going to push that into my lash line. Really, kind of tight lining it. Not being like super duper precise with placement, but I'm just placing the pigment there so that I can smudge it out with another color. I'm just not sure which one I'm going to do yet. Am I in focus? I really hope I'm in focus. Well, I am now. So I'm just kind of layering it up until I get the color that I want, but I'm going really slowly with it. And for some reason, I can always do my right eye a lot better than my left eye. My left eye always looks way more blown out than my right eye, and I'm not actually ever really sure why. But, okay, I think I've gotten that even on both eyes where I want it. Now I'm going to take another E1 from Color... Actually, no. I'm going to take an E9 from ColourPop, which is the smaller brother to the E2. So this is just a smaller, denser, fluffy-ended brush. And I'm going to take the color, I think I'm going to take Promise, which was this shade here. And I'm going to use that to kind of blow out Scene. And because this is a topper, but also a shimmer, it kind of gives that desired effect of almost like a mint color, which is really, really pretty. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm going to take the color, I think, Buggin'. I'm going to take Buggin' and I'm going to put that on my inner corner. And I'm just going to use another pencil brush. This is an E5 from ColourPop. Yeah, that's really pretty. I like that a lot, actually. Alright, so that's it for the eyeshadow palette. Putting that sucker away. Now I have to figure out what liner I want to use. I don't know. I think I'm going to go in with a cream gel liner from ColourPop in the color Zulu, which is this really pretty pastel green almost. And I'm just going to use that on my waterline. And I'm going to use a number 4 brush from Stila. This is an ancient brush. This is when they were still doing brushes, when they first launched. Well, that's really sweet. I think that's a very sweet color. I think I might actually go in with a darker green on my upper waterline. I think I will go in with the color, this is called Catsuit, which is a really pretty green, and I'm just going to use that to line my upper waterline. Oh, I like that. It gives it a little bit of drama without, you know, the starkness of being black. So I really digging that pretty hardcore, actually. I'm going to quickly do mascara and eyebrows off camera, and then I'll finish up with the lips, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the palette. Alright guys, so I have finished off my eyes. I used my Maybelline Falsies mascara. I forgot how much I love this freaking mascara. I used my micro brow pencil from Huda Beauty. I used my ColourPop lippy stick in the color Parker, and I used it with Oh Snap, the lip liner. So, okay. My thoughts on this palette. I came up with a really, really pretty look. I think this is kind of very almost pixie, very kind of almost ethereal looking. I really do like the colors. The problems that I have are that there's not a great matte to shimmer ratio in here. I would have preferred to have 3 mattes in here and 2 shimmers, or a satin and a shimmer, or whatever. I mean, I suppose they had kind of a harder time with it because they did this topper shade, which is Promise. So I can see why they did what they did. I do like the colors. I do like the shadows. The shadows performed really well. They're very easy to use, very easy to put on. The problem I have is that they're very kick-uppy. There were a couple shades where I was really like, oh shit, and I had to really dust my brush off before I put it on my face. That being said, 0 fallout. 0. So I mean, again, this wasn't, when I first opened it, this wasn't a palette that I was just like, oh, hell yeah, I cannot wait to use this. It was kind of one of those, oh, okay, I guess. But yeah, I'm happy I got it. I will use it again for sure. I do like the shades. I like the colors. I like the topper a lot. I think it really did this beautiful thing on the outside corner with on top of scene. I think they worked really well together, and you can also see it on my bottom lash line. So honestly, they're not expensive. They're pretty cheap. I can't remember how much they are, but I'll pop it up on the screen if I remember to. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, I'm not like over the moon, like super duper excited about it like I was with my crayon case palettes, but I was able to achieve a pretty look. It was fairly simple to put together. No muss, no fuss. Kick-uppy, yes. So I like it. I don't love it. But I'm leaning more towards the loving it. There are very few ColourPop products where I've just been like, nah, that ain't it, sis. But this one is actually, it's okay for me. You know, if you like greens, if you like the look that I created, you know, I can't say that you'll be upset with these. Again, they are very lightly shadow pressed, and so they are kick-uppy. And I know I keep saying that, but I need to stress that to you. I don't know if it's just, if they're like a new pigment style or a new pressing style or what, but they are very softly pressed. So be wary of that, or wary of that. Wary, whatever. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I like the look I came up with. I think the palette's really pretty. And I didn't have any issues aside from the kick up. Let's see how many times I can say kick up in one video, shall we? Anyway, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you every time I upload a new video, and I'll see you soon. Bye!